तब कथामृतं तप्त जीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमंगलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः. Now we were reading from the Gospel of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, and it was the page number 588, and it was the account of the day, the Thursday, October 2nd, 1884. Master Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he was discussing about the mental condition of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Dev used to experience three moods. In the inmost mood, he would be absorbed in samadhi, unconscious of the outer world. In the semi-conscious mood, he would dance in ecstasy, but could not talk. In the conscious mood, he would sing the glories of God. So these are the 3 points. Many times we have heard, we discussed, because this is the Vedantin, they always try to prove this. They prove this, that there is Atman, there is consciousness, and this consciousness is proved by this condition, 3 conditions. What is that? Jagrat, Sapna and Susupti. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when conscious, is singing the glory of God. Now singing the glory of God means he is talking, as because when the people constantly meditating on God, they cannot think of anything else except God. They cannot talk anything else except God. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, a man like him and the incarnation of God, so obviously he is thinking about God constantly, and when he is conscious, he is talking about God. We can remember Swami Gambhiranandaji, one of the presidents of the Belur Math Ramakrishna Mission. He was my Sannyas Guru. So whenever he used to talk about the scripture. As because he used to read scripture all through his life, he read, and then he translated almost all the Upanishads and Brahma Sutra. So thoughts were only scripture. Whenever he talked, normal talking also, the scripture. So here, when Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling that in a conscious state, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is to sing the glory of God, means he used to talk to the people. That was his conscious state. Then you will notice that even the doctors, the singers, the people with profession, and they love their profession. Whenever there is an opportunity, whenever they are talking with the friends, even they will be talking on that particular subject, on that topic. So the spiritual personality like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when the Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning sing the glory of God, means he is a conscious state. And what is the conscious state? It is the combination of the body and mind and of course the self, the consciousness. Semi-conscious dance in ecstasy. So that is proved semi-conscious state. We are in the, we can say the Shapna Avastha. In the Shapna Avastha, there it is a conscious but not of the external consciousness, but it is a consciousness of something else. That is a very unique thing that happens to every human being almost every day, and that was analyzed by the Vedantin so carefully, so they came to this conclusion that there is a world, a consciousness except the body. Even when the body is absent, there is a consciousness, there is a world, and people can think about that. So this Swapna state, he danced in ecstasy. But about the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Sri Ramakrishna, what was their second stage? They forget their body and they always feel that they're in the company of the God, and they are dancing and expressing the joy of the company of God, of the company of the Spirit, company of the consciousness. So that this is the second stage, which we can say is a Swapna avastha. Ordinary people in the dream state, they are not conscious about the body because the body is just inactive, lying on the bed, but their mind is fully active and they are enjoying or whatever. Maybe sometimes that bad dream, they are suffering. But for the personalities, the avatars of the high spiritual people like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Ramakrishna, they are semi-conscious. They can't talk to the people, worldly people, because they cannot think of the world, but they are physically active, at the same time as if active, because in the physically also, but mentally they are completely oblivion of the existence of this world. So this is the second stage, semi-conscious, about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning. And third is the completely in samadhi. What is the samadhi? Complete union of the individual self with the Supreme Self. The individual self and the Supreme Self or the Brahman. So when we find like that, the world is completely forgotten. The body is completely forgotten. Existence all around forgotten. So that is called Samadhi state. The people at the time of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, they have observed, and there were scientists, the doctors. At the time of the Samadhi, the doctors used to go and check Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna's body condition. No breathing at all. Not only that, sometime one doctor was there, he used to put his finger on the eyeball of Sri Ramakrishna. You can understand, so sensitive the eyeball. When you are bringing something near the eye, immediately it will blink to protect the eyeball. But that man used to touch the eyeball and there was no reaction in the body. He'll be holding his hand to see whether he is breathing, no. And when he's tasting the chest, whether he is breathing inside, no. No sign of life, but the man is there. So naturally they used to wonder how it is possible, and that was demonstrated in the modern day world in Calcutta by Sri Ramakrishna. And the Sri Ramakrishna, he is explaining that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also used to have this experience, which is completely called susupti. For the ordinary people, ignorant people, they go to that condition when there is no body consciousness, when the mind is also absent because they don't see the dreams, but at the same time they come back and they express the joy. The one thing is very important, when the people are coming back from the susupti, the dreamless sleep, they never say we experienced pain or the suffering. No. They always say we experienced joy, bliss. Each and every one. That proves, Vedanta, they give the stress on that. So the original condition is bliss, joy, happiness and not misery. And hence they have given the dictum, Anandeva khalu imani bhutani jayante. Khalu, they are assuring, surely, obviously, from the Ananda, from the joy, the source is joy, the Ananda, all these beings are coming. And that is why each and every one of us, particularly the human being, we can understand we like to go to the joy, to the anand. Sometimes if you are making the puppy afraid, the small little puppy, and it will run away from you. But when you are showing the affection, giving the food or patting on the back, you are so happy, wagging the tail and expressing the joy. Even the animals also, the children who can't express their other feelings, can understand the joy. So when they are on the lap of other ladies, they are crying. The moment they are on the lap of their own mother, they are very happy, smiling, and that expression of joy. So we like the joy, the happiness. And when we are grown up, we are conscious, we are educated, we can understand our goal is to get the joy through power, through money, through other things, food maybe. But ultimate goal is the joy. So here it says, the susupti, when the ordinary people do go to that particular state, when there is no consciousness of the body and no existence of the mind because we don't see any dream, but we are alive and we get up from the sleep and say, we experience joy. In the Vedanta Paribhasha, when they are giving subject matter of the Vedanta, what is the subject matter? What is the ultimate subject of the Vedanta? Unification, union of the Jiva and the Brahma. That is the ultimate subject of the Vedanta. Veda Anta, the end of the knowledge. What is that? I am that. So in that great dictum they say, Tat Tvam Asi. Tat. That is, Tvam, you. That Brahman is you. The Tat Tvam Asi. You are that. Why they say that? Because there is no gender. It is consciousness. So that is why the consciousness is you. How to prove? That is the goal of the Vedanta. So they also prove in this way, such a Jiva Swayam Prakashaha. That individual self is self-effulgent. Atma Deepo Bhava. In the Bhagavad Gita also, that Swayam Jyoti, that word is there. You have to become self-effulgent. You are self-effulgent, but this moment you have forgotten it. And now, under the guidance of your Guru, you have to develop that knowledge where you will understand all those things that you are covering your mind and thought are wrong. You are in truth self-effulgent. That individual self is self-effulgent. In Sanskrit, it mentioned Sa Cha Jiva. Jiva means individual self. Swayam Prakashaha, self-effulgent. It's not the help of anything else. That knowledge, the existence, Atrayam Purusha Swayam Jyoti, in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it says, in this state, the man himself becomes the light. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, in some places, he is telling, a time comes when the mind becomes your guru. You need not to go to anyone else for your guidance. You will get the guidance from your own mind. The mind will say, don't do this, and do this, and live like this, talk like this. Everything will be guided. And sometimes in the life of Swami Vivekananda, it has happened. That Vivekananda used to think, what I'm going to speak next day. So many speeches in one day, almost 8 to 10 speeches, talks he used to give. And in one place he said, the ordinary people won't be able to do that. They will vomit blood if they try. So much. There was no microphone. So obviously he has to shout, you can imagine. And in different places. And he used to travel by the horse-drawn cars. Obviously, it was in that cold which he was not habituated. So all that scenario, and he was going on talking to those people who had no idea about India and its art philosophy. So what was Vedanta? So nothing was there. And when he stopped telling them that you are the immortal being, think of the reaction of the masses. Now we are sinners. How can you say that we are the pure heart? No, it is not possible. So that mental condition is changing them. If we read the speeches that was recorded much afterwards, so many things, so many speeches he already delivered, no one was there to record. But much afterwards, with some of the ladies, they decided to appoint one person to note down his speeches. We are thankful to them. And whatever we have got, that is sufficient for us. And each and every talk is different. But through every talk he is giving the one idea. You are God yourself. Here it says, Atrayam Purusha Sayam Jyoti. In this state the man himself becomes the light. In this state, what is that state? When he forgets the body, when he forgets the mind, when he goes back to that consciousness, he becomes his own effulgent self. It is knowledge itself. Prajna Ghana Eva. So they are quoting the Vedanta Paribhasha, he is quoting from the Upanishad. The Prajna Ghana Eva, it is knowledge itself. What is that knowledge? The unification of the individual self and the Brahman. What is Brahman? Consciousness. Now what happens? When you reach to that state, you become Brahman. The Brahmaiva Bhavati, when you experience the knowledge of Brahman, you become Brahman yourself. So what is Jiva then? It concludes, Jiva Pratibimbita Chaitanyam. Pratibimbita Chaitanyam. It is not the original thing, but it is a reflection. But it is Chaitanya, it is the consciousness which is reflecting, and there is nothing else. When the sun is reflecting, it is the sun only, and that is the consciousness on our intellect when it is reflecting. So what is Susupti? That is the state, and from there, knowingly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to go into Samadhi in the third. So Sri Ramakrishna, now talking to the devotees, he is explaining. And to the devotees, you are listening to my words, try to assimilate them. This is very important. Now so many gurus are there people, they are visiting them and listening them, but they do not assimilate their words. Each and every guru everywhere, all the teachers, they are teaching that you should be morally very high and should be faithful to your thoughts about the spirituality, about the God. And then you should strive to reach over there, etc. So many things. Majority of the people, they go on listening all through their lives but never assimilate. But Sri Ramakrishna, he is giving stress on that. Swami Vivekananda also said that when you are going on talking about God, the tons and tons of talking is better on 1 ounce of practice. Just practice that. And how to practice? Assimilating. What is the assimilation? Understanding the truth of the teaching and then try to follow that in the life. That is assimilation. But how to understand the truth? You must have to have some background, otherwise it is not possible. And what is that background? That your mind should be free from the worldly thoughts. So when we are talking about the spirituality, it is completely different from the worldly thoughts. When the people are so stooped, completely deep down into the worldly thoughts, constantly thinking when the share market will up and then this and that. Suddenly they come to the temple and listen to a talk and say, oh, I know now the Vedanta. Now that is not possible. So the ground should be ready, otherwise the seed is not going to sprout. And how to prepare the ground? That Shama, Dhamma, Upurati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhan, Vedanta, he says that these are the 6 things you must have to have. And Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he said, Sadhu Sangha, in one word. He said, Sadhu Sangha, go to the holy people who are living their lives in that way. Listen to them, try to understand the meaning of their teachings and follow. And what is that Sadhu Sangha teaches you? Only one thing. God is there, that's all. If a sadhu do not believe the existence of God or the Supreme Self, then how can he teaches you that? So that is why you have to understand, we must try to understand that this is not the full, it is only limited. This world that we see, and those who are in the particularly the scientific world, this is really very wondering, but still that is limited. We have to understand that every day they are discovering so many things. Even then it is limited knowledge. Why? Because the next day it is changing. Whatever they are discovering, it is getting changed. So that is the reason Sri Ramakrishna is telling, you are listening to my words, try to assimilate them. What we have heard? 3 conditions, avastha traya shakshi, the 3 conditions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he hinted in this way, the ultimate thing is to merge with the consciousness. Next day, before that, you are in this world, but at the same time, you are not. And the last step, standing over here, your body, your mind, you are conscious, but at the same time, your thoughts are constantly flowing towards the higher level. Swami Vivekananda said to the brahmacharis, the monks, you cannot always live on the spiritual level. And you should not go down to the physical level. So you should have intellectual level. The physical level, intellectual level, spiritual level. So it is better to live in the intellectual level for ordinary people. And for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, living always in that, but when he is talking, giving the instructions, advising the devotees, that is his last step. But even then, that is so high, and he is physically, mentally conscious, giving the advices, but that too is so high for us, we won't be able to reach over there unless we practice, unless we try, unless we love to go. At dusk, put aside all duties and pray to God. This is a wonderful teachings of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. At dusk, the moment the evening is approaching, forget about all other things and put your mind to God, pray to God. One is reminded of Him by darkness. In those days, of course, and now also in the modern society, at the approach of the darkness, one thinks, I could see everything a moment ago. Who has brought about this change? So day and night, day is all we can see. And there is a time everything goes into oblivion, we cannot see. It is the change, the great change. Understanding this change that is coming every day, every moment in our life, we must be careful. We should not waste our time. So put your mind on that. One gentleman, his name is Mukherjee, he is asking a question. Revered sir, is it good to practice japa? He is asking that. Is it good to practice japa? And look at the answer. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling, yes, one attains God through japa. I have marked that line. Yes, one attains God through japa. So in this modern condition, we cannot meditate as the people used to do in the olden days. It is not possible. So we have born in this condition and all these things all around. We have to survive, we have to live, we have to drive the car, we have to do so many other things. So when there is time for us to meditate, so the japa. That's why Ma Saradamani Devi is also telling Japat Siddhi. Japat Siddhi. And what is this japa? Japa is the name of God, only name of God. Usually the tradition, Hindu tradition, Buddhist tradition, they accept this particular name of God from a guru who is practicing that particular God's name in his own life. And of course he should have other qualities like unselfishness, love, he is desire free, and these are the qualities of a person. And he is completely free. That type of person, if you take the name, God's name from him, and go on taking that name, repeating the name, you will surely realize God. Sometimes some people, they will be asking, is it possible to realize God? See the answer. Yes. One attains God through japa. By repeating the name of God secretly and in solitude, one receives divine grace. If the people, they are practicing it a little, they will find immediately how the mind is changing. And we can just try. And nothing harm in trying. Nothing. We are not going to drink anything, or we are not going to spend the money for this. No, nothing. Just take the name of God in solitude alone, with a faith that God is there, and with a prayer, the God, please reveal thyself to me. See, after a few days, how your mind will change, thoughts will change. And the moment you are changing a little, all atmosphere will change. The people will start loving you, they will start to help you, to give you the gift. And all these things that proves that God is there. The moment God is there, God is nothing but love. So obviously those who are practicing the meditation and revealing the God within themselves, the all around people, they are forced to love him or her who is practicing. So this, he says, secretly in solitude one receives the divine grace. Then comes his vision. Suppose there is a big piece of timber lying under the water and fastened to the land with a chain. By proceeding along the chain, link by link, you will at last touch the timber. He is giving the wonderful example. We can't see God like a timber underwater. But there is a chain, and tying with that, and chain can be found on the bank of the river. So now the Guru says, hold this chain and go link by link, you will reach to the timber. Have the faith. And then go link by link, that means take the name of God, you will have the vision. So that way, Sri Ramakrishna very wonderfully is telling, it is possible, it is possible. Only two things. You have to have the faith in the existence of God and also in the words of your Guru. And second, a sincere effort to reach to God. So these two things. And then he is telling, higher than worship is japa. Now he is giving the gradation. Higher than worship. When you are doing the external puja, majority of 90% of our mind goes to see whether all the ingredients are there or not, things are there or not. And then so many other things are there prescribed in the book when you are doing the puja. Your finger should be like this, you should take the bell, you should take this light, you should throw the flower like this way, and you should utter the mantra in this way. So many things, again and again, again and again, you have to repeat. And when we are doing that, most of our mind going like that. So, fast, without doing the worship, what we are going to do? We are going and talking with the friends, chatting this or reading the newspaper or doing this or that. It is better to worship. Comparing with those things, better to worship. When you are worshipping, your mind is at least in that condition. And then it says, better than worship is japa. When you are taking the name of God, you are not careful about what is happening. Sometimes some of the devotees, they will say, Swamiji, when we are counting the name of gods, our mind is distracted. So what should we do? Shall we not count the names or just simply repeat the name of God? What is better? Why we ask them to count the name of God? Because you do not know when your mind has gone out. So when you are counting, that means your mind will be at least very close to that. Sometimes you will see your finger is just lying over here. This is the wonderful way they count. It's not the simple way. There's a tantric way of counting. And naturally, you should be careful how many times my guru said that you should do the 1,000 times. No, it is only 500. I have to practice. That impetus, that is helping. Slowly, when you become adjusted with that, you need not to count in that way. Just go on repeating the name of God and trying to visualize His picture within your heart. And when you are trying to visualize that picture, He is sitting on a beautiful lotus and nothing is there but He. And obviously you are forgetting your body consciousness. So you are seeing that the light and the effulgent light that is emanating from the holy personality, person of that God, and He looks at you and like this, and you are just trying to imagine, visualize that. You are forgetting the body and mind. Your mind is becoming concentrated and you are taking the name of God. Oh God, oh God, oh God. So naturally, it's better. Now, higher than japa is meditation. Whose name you are taking? God's name. And when the God is revealing Himself within your heart, so you need not to take His name. You are just enjoying His closeness and His beauty. The presence of the God within your heart. And then you don't see the heart. You see that God is just in front of you. And naturally the name of God, it doesn't matter because that is the God sitting before you. You are offering food to God. The Hindus, they say, this is the time you should do worship through mental puja, manasic puja, manas puja. Manas means that's just you are thinking. You are washing the feet of the Lord and then you are putting the garland, burning the incense sticks, waving the light, offering the food, and God is also eating and talking to you. You are just in the presence of God. So that is the way you are meditating. So first is worship, completely external. Then japa, this is subtle in the mind. Then meditation, your whole mind is concentrated on particular object. And better than meditation is the bhava. What is that bhava? This. You are emerging with the God. Then the God says, come, we will walk. You are just going with the God, talking with Him, and you are in the presence of God. Only joy, joy and joy. You don't see anything else but the joy, the light. So that is called bhava. And bhava are, then the bhava, mahabhava are the prema. What is the mahabhava? Oneness with God. And that oneness with God is expressed through love. So what is God? That's why Swami Vivekananda said, L-O-V-E. What is God? Love. So sometimes some people in the name of God ask to torture others. I wonder what type of God they are thinking about. God can never be like that. God is nothing but prema. That is love. And when there is love, it never sees the differences. You and me, it cannot be. Love means only I. Everything is nothing but the God. Oneness. So here, prema, love of God, when it is intense and spontaneous, is called raga bhakti. Raga bhakti. In Sanskrit, R-A-G-A, raga means attachment. Raga, dvesha, they'll be all the time they'll be telling. Dvesha is opposite to raga. Raga means attachment. Here the raga bhakti means we cannot think anything but God. Anything but God. So once Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna's father, Shuddhiram Chattopadhyay, he used to worship God with green bell leaves. And sometimes there won't be any leaf available that way, all dry leaves. So one day he was going to some place. He walked almost 5 to 10 miles to reach to the destination. Suddenly he saw a small tree, bell tree, full of green bell leaves. And he was so fond of doing the worship of the Shiva with those bell leaves. Now he forgot about going to this destination. He immediately collected all the bell leaves from there, a huge number, came back again the 5 miles walking back, and then went for bathing without eating anything. He bathed. He worshipped Shiva. After that he said, okay, now I will go. The love for God, that is called raga bhakti. Anything else except God is absent in his mind. He will never care about the tiredness of the body. He forgets about the body. And his joy, though I could collect this thing because my God loves this, I will offer it to God. So this is called raga bhakti. Anything and everything that you will be doing, only thinking that God is there, God is present, God is enjoying. I am only with the God. That is called raga bhakti. So this raga bhakti we saw in Ma Sharadamani Devi. She will be every time Ramakrishna gata prana, tannama sravana priyam, tadbhava ranjitakaram. In the meditation of Ma Sharadamani Devi, these 3 words have been used. Sri Ramakrishna gata prana. Her mind was constantly thinking of Sri Ramakrishna and nothing else. Each and everything that she saw, talked to it, helped or served, only Sri Ramakrishna and nothing else. So when people they talk that Ma Sharadamani used to serve the poor Amjad and these and that. No. It is only Sri Ramakrishna. Only externally it was that Amjad. Maybe there's somebody else. Only Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna gata prana. And then, if anyone taking the name of Sri Ramakrishna, she is always giving the blessings. Ramakrishna gata prana tan nama sravana priyam. She was so happy if anybody is taking or talking about Sri Ramakrishna, following the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna. That's why she assured, don't be afraid, I am with you. A real mother, when nobody is around, when you feel that nobody is there to help you, just call me, Mother, and I'll be there. So that is the assurance. But if you take the name of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna and tell Mother, Ma, I need this, she is so happy. Ramakrishna Gata Prana. Her soul was nothing but, life was nothing but Sri Ramakrishna. And only thing that she loved is the name of Sri Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna Gata Prana Tannama Sravana Priyam Tad Bhava Ranjita Akaram. About the bhava. What is the bhava of Sri Ramakrishna? We will discuss this point a little later. Here we come to another. Hajra entered the room. The master was telling the love of God, when it is intense and spontaneous, is called the Raga Bhakti. And Vidhi Bhakti is that you have to practice this. So we do that. Vidhi Bhakti, these are the things that you must practice. In the books it is there, you must sit like this, you must do this, you must do that. And that we are doing. Not with love, but just as a practice, and you must have to follow, that is one thing. But the Raga Bhakti, Swami Vivekananda, he'll be offering the food to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. He is just pushing the plate to that picture and say, Khalo, that my friend, take the food. And in Hindi they say Yar. Yar means the friend. Khalo Yar. Swamiji's puja. He used to worship like that. He will be all the plate, all people, they used to be so careful. And for Swamiji, he will push the plate towards the picture of Sri Ramakrishna and say, Khalo Yar. Take it from here, friend. That's all. No mantra, nothing. Raga Bhakti. So that is why we have to understand the limitations, where I am and where are those people. And if we just like Swamiji, we also say, Khalo Yar, do you think it will be accepted? No. Because you don't have that love, you don't have the feeling of oneness. The Raga Bhakti. And when you are in that condition, you have understood that there is nothing but Sri Ramakrishna, and I am also that. We accept Sri Ramakrishna, the God, the Supreme, the consciousness, the Brahman. Nothing is there. I too am so. So though at this moment, in this body, I appear to be different, but I am not. Then I can say, Yar, oh my friend, oh my Paul, that is like that. It is possible. Here Sri Ramakrishna is telling. Then he says, and Hajra, now he is expressing, me, oh it's so good. He is listening to that. But Sri Ramakrishna didn't like, because Hajra's mood used to change constantly. When he is so close to Sri Ramakrishna, listen to him, influenced by him, he will be saying sometimes like that. But he was very egoistic. And because of the ego, he never could accept Sri Ramakrishna. We find this. Here, the bhava of Sri Ramakrishna. One day I was returning from the pine grove when I saw you telling your beads to Hajra. Sri Ramakrishna is telling. Hajra used to sit near to the gate. I said to the Divine Mother, Mother, what is this small-minded fellow? He is. Small-minded person he is, Hajra. He lives here and sit, and still he is practicing japa in a rosary. Look at it. He couldn't recognize the God living with him. How unfortunate. So many days and months and years he passed just so near to God. He couldn't recognize. And he is taking the name of God. Futile. That means his ego is not wiped out. The ego is there. I am taking the name of God. That I is so big, even the God cannot enter into the mind. Friends, this is the thing. When the Sri Ramakrishna said, you are listening to my words, and try to assimilate. What is this assimilation? Sri Ramakrishna, the God himself. And he is the goal and he is the means. Sri Ramakrishna is the God himself. And he is the goal and he is the means. And that's why he is telling, oh Mother, Mother is himself. He is telling, Mother, what a small-minded fellow he is. He lives here and still he practices japa with rosary. Now Sri Ramakrishna told practice of japa, through that you can realize God. But now you are living with God for so many years. Even then you could not recognize. What is the use of taking the name of God? That means your mind is not becoming pure. And unless and until the purity comes, it is of no use taking the name of God. And what is that purity? Again, this is a very vital question. What is the purity? Egolessness. When there is no ego, then what remains? Only God and nothing else. So, Ami mole kuchibe janjal, Sri Ramakrishna said, when that little ego is done with, is killed, is removed, you're free from the ego, then you are with God. And he says, whoever comes here, referring to himself, will have his spiritual consciousness awaken at once. My God. So when I was reading this, I was feeling, my God. So we have come to him, but so unfortunate, we don't have that 100% faith. We have come to God. And when you look at his picture, we have seen God. Unfortunate. And all our, in the past life, we didn't do good work. So that 100% faith is not coming. That ego is not going away from our mind. So we still think, oh, God will reveal himself. And he is telling, whoever come here, whoever is not Hindu, Muslim, or these or that, whoever come here, will have his spiritual consciousness awakened all at once. He won't have to bother much about japa. He said, by japa you can realize God. And when you come to God, Sri Ramakrishna, if you have that clear mind, why japa? When we reach to the destination, we close that map. We don't see map. Because it's not necessary. So like this, japa is an instrument which will take us to God. And when we reach the God, what we are going to do with that instrument is not necessary. So that's why he is telling, he won't have to bother much about japa. So this conscience. But what is the bhava of Sri Ramakrishna? How you will understand that? Now Sri Ramakrishna, he himself said to Swami Vivekananda that you and me are one. Apparently two bodies, but in reality we are one. When Swami Vivekananda explains his philosophy, we can take it for granted that it is a philosophy of Sri Ramakrishna. And what is that philosophy? Swami Vivekananda said to his disciple, Sister Nivedita, Margaret Noble, my philosophy can be said into 2 sentences. To make people aware about their divine nature. Each and every soul is divine. To make people aware about their divine nature and to help them to manifest it. That's all. What is the work that we should do? What is the spiritual practice that we should do? Understanding that each soul is potentially divine. And when you say that each soul, it is me too. I am not excluded. I am included. And when I am there, I too am having that. The same thing is in everything. We cannot criticize others. We cannot shun others. We cannot say no to others. Maybe many others they can do. The Hindus can do, but the Ramakrishnites, the followers of Sri Ramakrishna, should not do, cannot do. If they do, they don't belong to Sri Ramakrishna ideology. This is very clear. So this he is telling that, as Swami Vivekananda is telling, each soul is divine. And we have to help them to manifest it. How? Giving them inspiration. Giving them the faith, there is God. Go to Him, pray to Him. He has come this time in the form of Mother, and she is so kind-hearted. Just go and pray. Whatever you want, you are going to get it. But we can't say that because we don't have the faith to say that. We don't believe in that. So that is why when we are here, we are assured that the spiritual awakening is going to happen. Just have faith in the presence of God in the form of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. Thank you. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa drita vigraham vai ishavattaram parameshamidyam tam Ramakrishnam shirasa namamaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Tatsat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.